Hello, Scorpion. I'm Ulrich. I'm a normal card reader, but this time we will use a financial deck for your card reading. The deck contains 44 cards, and the laying is done with 3 cards you see here in front of me. You can also see 4 objects here on the table, meaning we will do 4 card readings for each astrological sign for the month of September, and this card reading here is for the sign of Scorpio. Now, from these 4 objects that you see here, you choose or you pick one you feel most comfortable with, or that relates most to your personality. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current financial situation or the advice that you are receiving from the cards regarding that financial situation. Of course, you can watch all 4 videos related to the Scorpio sign, and after you watch all 4, you can then decide which symbol or object is fitting your first card reading or financial situation the best. The matches here represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. So Scorpion, here we go for your financial card reading for September 2021. Hello, Scorpion, and welcome to the Shell or the Water Group for September 2021. Here, the first card that you see here is the card of evolution. What does this card mean? Well, it means that progress is part of life. We evolve over the years. The decades follow one another, but they are not exactly alike. 20 years ago, for instance, you would find it unusually to pay large amounts for certain services that you receive now. Which one, for one example here, is the internet, because 20 years ago, maybe, or 30 years ago, it did not exist yet. So through time, your expenses and your needs are increasing, and also they are changed. So you must, therefore, this card tells you, eliminate certain things that before were essential in the past and which today are no longer important for you personally. For instance, an example could be, if you no longer receive calls on your landline, what is the purpose of holding the landline? This card tells you to maybe it's best to cancel this number if you have no purpose or no use for it at all. Do you no longer listen to your broadcast, or you watch the TV on the internet? Maybe you need to ask yourself the relevance of maintaining your subscriptions on certain TV channels. If, for instance, your daily newspaper is available online, and you can say 50% or 40% with reading it online, is this not an interesting offer? So this card tells you to stop these old expenses and review your monthly payments. So you need to ask yourself the question this card tells us, to adjust your spending to the current times, if you can do so. The second card here is the cards of the awards. For instance, what does this card mean? Well, if we've been outside for a while, for instance, in the freezing cold, or we have been in the heat and we come inside and we drink something that is the opposite, it gives us a very nice effect. It's like something is given to us that actually don't cost too much money. As human beings, we have very little treats to reward us, and for instance, for our personal improvement in life. But this card also, in another side, it's a warning that we cannot over compensate or over reward ourselves. So this card tells you, you are now in a good financial situation for now, probably. You are in a financial growth, or you can financially grow. So don't do the efforts, because the eggs are here. The eggs are like, you gathered some eggs. You see the golden egg here. So you have probably gathered some money, some savings. So this card tells you to make the balance between the presents or the gifts that you buy to yourself, or compensating yourself, and the way you spend money. You need to think about the way you compensate yourself without bleeding your wallet. This card advises you actually to enjoy life in a way that don't cost you much money. For instance, you take a walk, you read, you listen to music on the internet, you do things that don't cost you, and it will save you a serious amount of money at the end of the month, and over several months it will be a serious amount you accumulate that you can use for something else. It doesn't matter if the activity or is idle or it's a sports activity. This card tells you to minimize your expenses so you can financially progress, and this card wants to encourage you, if you do so already, to continuing this. The last card we see here is the card of overconsumption. So what does this card mean? Well, we all live in a world of overconsumption. We are daily confronted with advertisements, and sometimes our definition from essential obligations is no longer the same of parents or other people or older generations who were aspired to provide for their basic necessities. Today, our basic necessities include a smartphone. We already know that, a cell phone. Internet is common in life. And for some people also, this includes traveling abroad. So our society has evolved. The essentials have been replaced. So this card asks you to evaluate your real needs, what is really, really important for you in this new form of society, and also things that are no longer necessary, for cutting them. It's a little bit the same as the same card. And this card also asks you if you are happy with your current situation. Do you feel more happy than you think that your ancestors were? This card warns us a little bit for overconsumption and being happy with the condition that we achieved for now. We need to be happy here what we have. Sometimes society makes us a little bit blind, and some people or some groups of people might hyper consume. It's like a blindness that some groups of people get, and they think the happiness is in overconsumption. But actually, most of us know indirectly or subconsciously that this is not the fact. Actually, we can live with a lot of attributes that are superficial and that we buy for rewarding ourselves, as we saw in the previous cards. So this card asks you to live moderate, live according to your needs, to improve yourself and not what society suggests or dictates you. If you do so, your wallet and your mind will be better off, you will save more, and you will progress yourself in a better condition. So, Scorpio, for the water group, this is all. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check out the other 3 card readings that are following here. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you. Hello, Scorpion, and welcome to the air group or the aerosol for this month, for September 2021. Before we start, I want to mention that Mercury is running retrograde starting September 27. So at that time, it's not wise to sign contracts, agreements, anything financial, everything you need to put your name under, any document, it's not wise to do so. Maybe sometimes we change our mind, there's something wrong with the contract, it will catch up with us, we change our mind. The contract is not in order. There are several possibilities here, but the general idea is it's not a good time to sign contracts during this period. This is from 27 September up to October 18. You will also see that if you travel, there are delays, or people come to you, they have delays, you receive your mail late, your emails are late, your emails are not coming, packages that are coming to you are too late. This is all because our mind everybody's mind is a little bit working slower during that period. It's also wise to avoid buy new things like housekeeping, like laundry machines, microwaves, if you can avoid for buying those goods, because they are contractually connected to warranties, and maybe there's a problem with the warranty, or the thing that you buy is wrong delivered, or it's the wrong goods that are delivered. These are all things that are happening when Mercury is running retrograde. If for some reason you would be unable to avoid signing a contract, please double check, triple check the contents of the contract so you have no regrets afterwards. But the most advisable things is to advise signing the contract in general. So going back here to the card reading itself, here the first card that you see is automatic savings. What does this card mean? Well, probably you are in a very fine situation for now, because these are very good cards here that you have for the Scorpio group, for air group. This card advise you. You probably have some money every month that you can save, and this card tells you that you've made progress, and maybe you can apply automatic savings. I'm assuming you know, but for the people who don't know what this means, I will explain this. This is like automatically you give an order to the bank you give the order yourself from your account, and an amount that you have left over at the end of the month will be put from your payment account to your savings account. So you need to work out for yourself which amount exactly that you can miss, and this money is automatically transferred by the end of the month on your savings account. You can calculate this in your budget and do this on a reoccurring basis at the end of the month. With this money, then later on, the idea of this card is that you improve. So then with this money that you have saved, you can invest maybe this in a portfolio, or you can invest in solid things like silver, gold, bonds, something that is stable and that brings you more money on the long run. You will be surprised on a period of 6 months, if you do this automatic saving, what you will accumulate. It will be more than you expect, and I think you are in the right position now to do so. Also, by increasing these amounts, this could be good for instance, your retirement, savings for your children, studies for your children, or maybe there's a renovation project that is already hanging in your head for many years, or a trip that you would do for a very long time. Anyway, by regularly increasing these amounts over the time and over the years, you will accumulate certain amounts and nice amounts of money that you can save if you discipline yourself now. It's like you start a virtuous circle that will lead towards more security in your life. The second card that we see here, it wants to remind us of our grandparents and the situation that they were in at their times. What does this mean? Well, the situation that you're now in, for instance, your studies, the situation financially that you are in now, it would not have been possible if our grandparents didn't foresee certain things to improve ourselves. We arrived at a certain point, so we have some benefits from the accomplishments that they achieved for us. At that time, for instance, those people lived on one salary with a large family, and even sometimes in retirement, they lacked some things. Maybe this card asks you if you assume that they were better off than you. Maybe this is what you think, or maybe you reflected about this, or people around us, but this card tells you not to fool yourself. These people had very limited budgets, and the situation of your ancestors was not exactly the same as the advantages you have now. For a simple example, they have no had no access to credit cards. They were paid out what they earned and not more. There were no trips, no exotic herbs. There was nothing to discover. The home loans needed to be paid long off before retirement because they never know what was coming for them. It's actually the reverse situation as we know now. Some things were simply unacceptable and impossible for them. So this card asks you to compare your situation to others who are less fortunate also. This is also incalculated in this card. And realize, even if you experience sometimes difficult times, you need to realize how happy and how lucky you are. Because I think this is a very good laying here. So this card wants to confirm that you need to be happy with the situation that you are today. Because compared to people who live in countries that are poor or who have very few or have maybe nothing to eat, there is no possible parallel. Even the parallel with our grandparents, it's not possible here. So this card asks you to reflect on your ancestor, about others, the concessions that others need to make, the concessions that your grandparents made for bringing you where you are now, and to think about this whole situation and evaluate the happiness that you have now. The last card is the card of luck. This is the luckiest card of the deck, so this is a very good laying. So what does this card mean? Well, in general, this card means that money don't make happy, but everybody admits that it's easy to have. We all need our basic needs. We need food, we need shelter, we need warmth. In some countries, we need aircon or we need ventilators. It depends where we live. However, here, this card tells us also that we need to distinguish our essential needs. So this card tells you if you still know, asks you if you still know the difference between your basic needs and the luxury goods. Now, these days, it's easy for us to travel more, to spend more, but also this card tells you probably this does not guarantee your feeling of completeness and happiness, or don't make you complete happy. So this card asks you to value where you are right now and think about your pursuit of happiness and where you are already are in the pursuit of your happiness. It's sometimes, for some people, it depends on the standard of living. Some people have high expectations, like they want to live like kings. Other people have a more moderate position. So this card asks you to establish where you think you are. Of course, money is essential. We all know that, but we need to make a distinction here, asks this card, to the basic needs and the luxury goods. Once our basic needs are filled, we could actually categorize the rest as luxurious. So your quest for happiness should not evolve forever, let's say it like that. So this card tells you to enjoy the little comfort, the little things in life, the small things of happiness, also to give love and appreciate the ones we have around us, because sometimes that is where the real deal, the real happiness is, and it's not always connected to money. So, Scorpio, for the air group, this is all for now. If you're happy with this card reading, please subscribe to my channel, and thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check out the other 3 card readings. Anyway, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing, and see you maybe next time. Thank you. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Scorpion, and welcome to the Stone or the Earth group for the month of the financial card reading for the month of September 2021. Before we start the card reading, I want to mention that Mercury is starting the retrograde on 27th of September, meaning it's not a good time to sign contracts, agreement, arrangement, everything you need to put your name under on a contract. It's not a good idea to do so between 27th of September and 18th of October. So it's better to avoid this. Also, you will see the traffic is slower if you go somewhere. Sometimes you're in the traffic jams, trains are delayed, buses are delayed. You go somewhere, you're delayed. People come to you, they are delayed. You're waiting on some documents that need to arrive in your home. They are late or they don't arrive. You receive emails late. So things like that happen when Mercury is running retrograde. It's because of the collective. All our minds, the mind of the people, is working a little bit slower during this period. Also, it's not a good time to buy new goods, like if you need to buy a microwave or laundry machine or a cell phone. It's not too good to, also because these things are connected to warranties, and sometimes there's a problem with the warranty popping up, or the wrong goods are delivered, or it's not what you expected and you want to change and you cannot anymore. So these are all things that are happening. So it's best to avoid during this period for signing contracts or making agreements. If for some reason, however, you are obligated to sign something, I would advise you to double, triple check the fine print, overread the contract, think about the contract, because it's possible afterwards you want to get out of the contract, you change your mind, the people change their mind, something is happening that is not comfortable for you. So be advised here to not to sign the contract during this period. So now we follow here your card reading. The first card that we have here is the card of youth. What is the card of youth mean? Well, probably you know the saying, boys will be boys and girls just want to have fun. This is what this card is about. You probably, during the last period of time, you spend some amounts of money. Maybe this card sometimes also, this card is a card of youth. Maybe you spend a little bit reckless the last weeks, and maybe you are not happy now because of the impacts of a certain outburst for something that you bought in the past. Regardless of a person, his age, cash management and optimization, of course, it requires some maturity, but sometimes everybody of us, we cross the border. So this card asks you if you cross the borders and if you are a little bit in a difficult financial situation about expenses that you made before. This card asks you to be more aware and to get more aware if you are already older. Sometimes as we get older, we are more perfected financially. It's part of the normal circle of life. However, some of us are born with this ability, or they have it quickly under control to move forward compared to their peers or other people. So this card asks you to reflect over some ideas and the situation, compare yourself with your situation and those of others. This card asks you, are you still have spendthrifts, or you already have your money totally under control and you are already wise and you control your outbursts. Remember, this card says you are never too young to be financially mature, and you're never too old to change your financial behavior if you sometimes still have outbursts. If you have the advantage of youth, however, and the same time you are financially mature, this card tells you that your efforts soon will greatly be rewarded. If you have the assets of being older and wiser and experienced, use these abilities in your advantage, enjoy life's gifts with moderation, and if you do, also you will receive the rewards. The second card we have here is the cards of the circles of life. As we know, each period of our life, it has a certain challenge. So no matter what stage of life we in, there are certain expenses that we did not anticipate. For instance, many parents think if they have a young child or a young baby, that after this period, the heaviest is past. Maybe related to sickness, this is the case, but related financially, this could be a miscalculation. Teenagers have different expenses compared to babies, and sometimes these expenses are even higher, as many of you already experienced and wrong anticipated. Because why? Because teenagers have their sport activities, there are clubs, they need certain clothes, and of course this costs a lot of money. I don't need to tell you the story because you're aware of the story. Just because then they come in the group over their 20s doesn't mean that the expenses are over again. They go to university, you need to pay for the accommodations, and these are new challenges we need to face. So life has all kinds of economic challenges. This card asks you not to postpone trying to have savings and not to wait for anything or till certain stages are completed. This card tells you to realize wherever we are, there will always be hurdles. So if you can make some savings, please do so. Control your spendings of your money, because maybe later on in life we are confronted with situations that we were not aware of, or that are still to come, or that are unexpected. So this card tells you to be wise about your money. And connected to this, we have this card. This is the card of the ancestors. It means it asks you to compare to people who live in very difficult circumstances, for instance, in poor countries, or your ancestors who needed to do the same life, but with a lot fewer money. So it asks you to compare to your grandparents and think where you arrive today. Most of the grandparents of us who had grandparents, they lived on one salary, they had a large family, and even when they went into retirement, they lacked some certain things. So sometimes they need to do additional jobs to provide for their basic needs. But maybe this card tells you that your life is difficult compared to others. So this card wants you to put your feet on the ground and think about your real situation, where you are. It asks you to evaluate your happiness. You need to stop if you are in some way of thinking. It tells you to stop to think that way and evaluate yourself. Because people who have less, they have a difficult situation. There are many people, also our ancestors, they didn't have access to credit cards. They were paid according to what they earned, and they didn't have any more. There were no trips possible, no exotic herbs to be discovered. The home loans need to be paid long off before they pension, because they never know what could hit them. So this is like, these cards tell you to compare your life with them. Even though maybe sometimes we have or we experience unpleasant moments, this card laying tells you that you are in a very good condition or position compared to people who have nothing at all. So you cannot compare your situation, this card tells, to your ancestors or to people who have very few. And this card asks you to reflect about that and how happy you really are. So, Scorpion, for the Stone Group, this is all for this month. I hope you are happy with this card reading. If you do, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 card readings. And I hope to see you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye for now. Hello, Scorpion, and welcome to the Fire or the Matches group for the card reading, for the financial card reading for September for the sign of Scorpio, for the Matches or the Fire group. Before we start, I want to mention that starting 27th of September, Mercury is starting to run retrograde, meaning it's not a good time to sign contracts, financial contracts, loans, agreements, anything that you need to put your name under on a contract is not wise to do so. During this period, afterwards, sometimes we have regrets. We sign this contract, we want to get rid of the contract, we want to get out of it, but sometimes it's not possible and we are confronted with fines. We are not happy with the situation that we signed before. So this period urges you to be wise, and it's best not to sign contracts during that period. Also, it's not wise to buy new gadgets like cell phones, TVs or laundry machines or housekeeping things. because these things are connected to warranties, and these warranties, there could be a problem with these warranties because the warranties are connected to the contract, as you understand. Also, you will see during this time period, there are delays. If you travel somewhere, sometimes you have delays. Sometimes the trains are late, the buses are late, you are in the traffic jam. Messages that come to you are later, or they don't arrive at all, or they arrive just too late. Packages come to you, arrive at the wrong address, and they are late. So these are all things that are happening when Mercury is running retrograde. It's because the collective mind of the people is running a little bit slower. So it's a collective problem that everybody of us faces. If for some reason you are obligated and you have no other choice than signing a contract for whatever, for a loan or for a house or whatever, double check, triple check the fine prints, because sometimes afterwards, as I said, there could be regrets, but double check and triple check if you have no other choice. So Scorpio, here we go for your card reading for the matches or the fire group. The first card we have here is the card of deals. What does this mean? Well, probably you like to buy things that are in discount, because else this card would not be here. You like to buy discounted items. You check out sections of liquidations, foresee if you cannot find a good deal. Sometimes this card is connected to that we buy things on discount that we don't even need. So this card asks you if you buy things in discount, but also things that you don't actually need. Maybe you are chasing for a clothing object, for a gadget, an electronic gadget, or something that you don't actually need. Even you buy it because the thing is discounted for a ridiculous amount, but also be wise and know if you buy things in discount, we need to pay it for also, and this amounts at the end of the year, it's a substantial amount of money that you actually could have saved. Also, you need to see if you cannot control yourself for buying discounted goods, but you are urged here to do so. Don't be bewitched by sales. Keep cool and question yourself, what is the real price of these things? Just check if it's really discounted. That's the first thing you need to check. Just also anticipate your budget for the end of the month. And also sometimes this card is connected to buying in bulk. People sometimes have this card when they buy in bulk. Sometimes people who buy in bulk at the end of the month, they catch themselves, they buy something in bulk, for instance, food, and at the end of the month, they give it away to the neighbor, they give it away to their sisters because the item is about to expire, or they buy something and they bring it back to the recycling store or the secondhand store, or they post it online. And then this card asks you if this is really economizing. So don't overflow your house with goods you don't actually need. It will only accumulate, and later on we will need to dispose of it anyway. So this card asks you if you can do so, to ignore offer discounts, liquidations, and your wallet will improve. The second card we see here is the card of awards. Sometimes we like to reward ourselves. For instance, you can compare this with a hot day in the sun and you drink a glass of iced tea with the ice cube. So it gives us a very good feeling that we award ourselves. Or it's very cold and we come home and we drink hot milk with honey. So this is the situation here that is exposed. We have sometimes we work hard and sometimes we feel that we don't have enough rewards. So maybe sometimes you buy things, maybe discounted items to reward yourself, because these two cards mostly are connected. So this is a warning not to overdo it. And most importantly, if you gain some savings, not to destroy the savings that you have. Take care of them, take care of yourself, take care of the savings that you have accumulated for now. So don't destroy your own efforts. Of course, time to time we deserve a reward or an award, but think also not to go too far in this, that your wallet don't bleed. This card also to think about, give yourself free gifts. Like for instance, you go for a walk, you go to the library, you hire some music instead of buying it. You go to the library for a book, for music, for CDs, whatever. If as long as this card tells you, as long as it's not cost money and it makes you savings, it will make you happy. That's why we have the golden egg here. It doesn't matter what kind of activity do you do, but just find out what makes you tick as a person, and try to find a reward for yourself that doesn't financially hurt you. Then the last card we have here is the card of proportions, that we need to put everything in proportion to what we earn and what we spend. So this card asks you to evaluate the value of money. You put it in context. This card asks you to your own financial situation, because money don't have the same value for everyone. Meaning, a monthly payment for the loan of somebody's home is very different for a family who lives in a poor country compared to two earners who live in a richer country. $2 or €2 don't have the same consequences for a low income family as it has for a high yield one. It can mean the difference for these people between eating and not eating, as a lot of them are facing financial very difficult times with the viruses that are around us. With the lockdowns, it has an economical impact, and you understand this is a very difficult time for those people. So these €2 can be very important for them. So this card asks you to count the reality of your real expenses, not see it as a percentage, but as a real amount that you spend, and that you balance your budget more. It's like it wants you to establish a relationship between your outflow and your salary. This is what this card is about. This card tells you that you are the one in charge of your proportions, your balances. So you need to ask yourself about the disbursements that you did lately compared to your earnings. So you need to relativize your current expenses and educate yourself over this topic. So this card also asks you to take a piece of paper and to actually write down, make categories of importance, calculate your expenses, put them in categories, and make them in categories that are important for you, essential, and other things that are maybe not necessary or even out of proportion. So if you do so and you put this all in paper, you will be able to find the golden egg, or the savings here, for balancing yourself more, for making some savings. So you need to check here what you don't actually need, categories that are out of proportion. You need to get rid of these. This is what this card tells. It asks you to make the bigger picture over everything so you can improve financially. So, Scorpio, for the fire group, this is all for this month. I hope you enjoyed this card reading. It's an alternative approach. If you like this card reading, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you for doing so. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 card readings that are also connected here to this video. Anyway, thank you for watching, and see you maybe next time. Bye-bye for now. Thank you.